so therefore, as Albert Ellis would say, you'd get rid of the shoulding and the masturbating. And and get rid of.
He was a salty guy.
Yeah, he was. He was. He was an old codger.
Isn't he still? Did he pass?
He did.
Recently, just recently.
Yes, not that long ago.
He had a big institute, right?
Yes, in New York. Yes.
And he was the head of it forever.
Forever, and he was indefatigable, and he was intractable in his ABCs of the event. How you interpret the event causes the emotion that you feel.
I have to hear that one more time.
A is the event.
Yes.
B is your interpretation of the event.
Yes.
And C is the emotion that you feel based on how you've interpreted the event that happens.
Huh.
So that is sort of what we're talking about here in a way, which is I have an expectation of you. You behave a certain way that I don't like. I interpret that is shaming for me.
Right.
Rather than, yes. Rather than, here's the holidays, there's an event, you reject me, you don't come to my party, and I say to myself, Steve might be going through something. You know, I can't speak to what he's going through in his life. I know he cares about me. Maybe he's not able to come this year. My shame isn't, I'm not collapsed into shame. I haven't taken it personally. I've said graciously or with love, I'm sorry you can't come. You know, I hope you'll be able to come next year. But I've stayed, my worth is in check.
Right.
You really have to work very hard not to personalize it and go into a sense of what did I do? There's something wrong with me, and going into all that shame belief system, you know, because shame has that belief system that's attached to it, that it's, you know, there's something wrong with me.
Right, there's something wrong with me. But changing the intonation of the first question isn't a bad one. What is my part in this? What is my part in this?
Well, say for example, let's take people with addiction.
Yeah.
Say your brother is a drug addict.
Right.
And is not in a stage of any kind of recovery. So stays away for 3 or 4, you know, holidays, or 5 or 10. And you have gone through your own process and you have made the decision that you can do no more. You have to step back and let that person either find their bottom or come back up.
Right.
When you say, what is my part in this? How do you
when you say it like that, that's another way of interpreting the question. What is my part to play in this? What is my part in this? Meaning, my part in this is that I love my brother. I want to control my brother because he scares me, and I want to force my control on him. And if he knows he's out of control, so if he knows what's good for him, he'll listen to me. And he should. And he should get himself in rehab, and he should do all this kind of stuff, and he needs to get away from those people that he's hanging out with. And it's as simple as night and day. And versus my partner is to maybe say that once in a loving way. Right. And then know that I've said it for myself and said it to him. Yes. And then I've said my piece, I love you. Yes. And this is what I'm going to have to do if you don't do that. I'm going to have to give you the distance to do it because I can't be around it and be healthy with you. Yes. I can't have a loving relationship with you. I have to love you from afar. So that's hard work. Yes, and that's what happened with me. And when I did that and finally got to the piece of stopping holding on and saying, I love you, you have to go to treatment, I can do no more, I have to step back. Boy, it's extraordinary how that point of change happens. It's almost like the addict is feeling the pressure of somehow bearing the burden of the fear of the person who's trying to get them to see something they're not ready to see. I have to hear that again. I missed that point. I want to hear that point. Well, it's almost like when you're in an addictive family system, you feel like you're carrying the load of the addict, the one who's using. But somewhere I think also the addict feels the pressure that they carrying the shame of somehow hearing this message that they're not enough until they quit. So that's a pressure coming from another side. Yeah. And then you hear, well, you should this, and this is what the addict I think is hearing. You're not going to be good enough until, and right. And but I need love now. I'm in trouble. Who's that? That's the addict talking. But I need love now. I need love now. Well, if you're going to say, should is going to further shame me versus if I'm the drug addict and you're saying, I love you no matter what, but I just have to stay away. There's no shame and the love is still there. So, but when you're in an addicted state, I would think that you would need to know that you're still loved. That it would be important for your recovery, your eventual recovery.
For sure, but that comes back to love thy neighbor as thyself. How you define love and what you're doing and the idea of love. The most loving thing that I could do was to let go.
Right.
And that was a very frightening thing.
Right, because you can lose a person.
But it's also coming from a place of self-love.
Yeah.
Because there's this aspect that you're carrying the shame that if I can't make this person go to treatment, there's something about
I failed. I'm a failure.
Right.
I'm not
so
powerful.
there's a shame component involved in that. So it takes a healthy sense of self to be able to let go.